Hey everybody, this is David from Real Hardware Reviews, and today we're going to look at the S8 and S8 Plus to see if they're still worth buying after 6 months. Now there's plenty of videos who are pretty in-depth in regards to the S8 and S8 Plus, but today we're just going to look at it and see what are the top features and top dislikes after 6 months of use. So let's jump into the details. What do I like about this phone? Well, I'll tell you straight up what I do like is the actual design of it. It really feels like I'm holding the feature here. It's a really great phone just to look at. Now you gotta give it to Samsung. They really designed a beautiful phone. There's nothing that comes close to it in design and beauty of it. After 6 months of use, I found that the battery life actually has improved. I'm typically getting about a day, maybe even a day and a half on the S8, and the S8 Plus I can squeeze in 2 days if I'm not using it heavily. That's pretty good for battery life in my opinion, because one thing I really care about the most is about how long a phone will last. Because if a phone can't last longer than a day, then it's pretty much useless. Now let's move on from the battery to the actual camera. Now, many people kind of dim-wit it saying, hey, it only has one camera, and it's not a dual camera like a lot of the 2017 flagships out there, but Samsung has really made a good choice on using this camera. It is the same camera sensor as the S7, maybe tweaked just a tiny bit, but it captures beautiful images. It's clear, it's sharp, it behaves pretty well in low light. It doesn't have any really bad negative perks on it, and it really can't compete with the dual cameras out there. Now sure, you might be missing out on the telephoto or the ultra wide on many of the other flagship phones, but it's not something I can really give negative to. Samsung was still trying to basically perfect its dual camera system, and the Note 8 has that right now, but I guarantee you for the S9, they will probably have 2 cameras on the back. Now moving on, another key aspect which I really do like is the weird aspect ratio. It's not your 16:9 usually, it's 18.5:9. Now 18.5 is a weird number to look at, but it gives you a lot of screen real estate vertically, which I appreciate. And it really feels like you're immersed into the phone itself. I can't really give any bad quirks about it. When I first got it, I thought it was gonna be really hard to utilize certain features from pulling down the notification bar and stuff like that. Getting used to it, I didn't have any issues at all. Now the S8 Plus has a bigger screen, but it still has a smaller footprint compared to like an iPhone 6 Plus or 7 Plus or 8 Plus that's coming out soon. Now this is the first time Samsung has gone away from the home button and started using on-screen buttons. Now they're not your typical on-screen buttons, they are virtual home buttons. So what that means essentially is that if you just pull up from the bottom, these buttons will appear, and those are basically your home and back button and your multitask button as well. Now after using this phone for a bit, there are some things that I don't like about it. Number one thing is Bixby. Bixby itself feels half-baked. When originally the phone came out, Bixby was not even available to begin with. And now that it is available, I find it more of an annoying feature. The S8 and the S8 Plus have a button dedicated for Bixby, but over time, I just remapped that button to something completely different. I find Bixby a pain to use. There's nothing really great about it. Now, if you've been reading about this phone and researching about it, every reviewer has been basically saying the same thing. The fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone is in a horrible position. I'll tell you this, there's multiple times where I have pressed the button in the back thinking that that was the fingerprint sensor, but instead it was the actual camera. I wish Samsung put this fingerprint where the G6 is, or even where the LG V30 put the fingerprint sensor, which is right in the middle of the back of the phone. I find that to be more natural to actually hold in the back, in the middle to actually unlock, but for whatever reason, Samsung has decided to put it right beside the camera. Nothing comes close to the overall package that the S8 and the S8 Plus currently offer, with its beautiful design, great screen, amazing camera, and overall build quality. The S8 and the S8 Plus are pretty much the market leader. I want to give out a big shout out to Tom Harris for providing us with the phones to review. Without them, this video would not be possible. And this wraps up the video. Thanks for watching, and this is David from Real Hardware Reviews, signing out.